The memory of that disturbing summer incident still haunts my thoughts, a chilling reminder that the line between tranquility and horror can be thinner than we dare to believe. It was a sultry evening, the sun beginning its descent, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and warp in the oppressive heat. A group of us decided to venture into the woods for a change of scenery, seeking refuge from the urban chaos that had become our daily reality. The forest beckoned with its promises of cool shade and a respite from the scorching sun. As we ventured deeper into the woods, the atmosphere gradually shifted. The air grew thicker, and a hushed stillness enveloped the surroundings, a silence that felt almost unnatural. We stumbled upon an abandoned clearing, the ground covered in a carpet of decaying leaves that muffled our footsteps. An eerie sensation crawled up my spine, as if the very earth was whispering ancient secrets. A dilapidated cabin stood at the edge of the clearing, its time-worn boards creaking in the breeze. It seemed to sag under the weight of its own history, windows boarded up as if to keep out not only the elements but also some nameless dread. Despite the unease that hung in the air, morbid curiosity got the better of us, and we cautiously approached the cabin. The door was slightly ajar, seemingly inviting us into its darkness. It was as if an invisible force tugged at our instincts, compelling us to cross the threshold. Inside, the air was thick with mustiness and an acrid tang that pricked at our senses. Dust motes danced in the slivers of fading light that filtered through the grimy windows, revealing the remnants of a life once lived within these walls. But what sent a shiver down our spines were the strange symbols and drawings that covered every available surface. They seemed to writhe and pulse in the dim light, an unsettling fusion of art and something more sinister. The room felt like a canvas for a deranged mind, a manifestation of inexplicable horrors that defied comprehension. As we explored further, our flashlights revealed a hidden trapdoor in the corner of the room. With a collective sense of trepidation, we pried it open, revealing a ladder leading down into a subterranean darkness. Against all rational judgment, an insidious curiosity pushed us to descend into the abyss, our flashlights revealing cryptic etchings on the walls of the tunnel. At the tunnel's end, we found a chamber that defied all reason and sanity. The walls were adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to writhe like living veins, and at the center of the room lay a grotesque altar, adorned with bones and candles. It was a scene that defied comprehension, an amalgamation of occult rituals and a sense of something beyond our grasp. We fled from that place, our hearts pounding in our chests, our minds awash with a maelstrom of fear and confusion. To this day, the memory of that cabin in the woods haunts me, a reminder that in the midst of summer's warmth, darkness can thrive, lurking just beneath the surface, ready to reveal itself in the most disturbing of ways. The scorching sun beat down on the town, turning the streets into a shimmering mirage. Summer had a way of baking reality into something surreal, and that day would be etched into my mind as the pinnacle of disturbing experiences. It started innocently enough, with a local fair that promised the usual delights: cotton candy, carnival games, and rides that spun you till your laughter turned into screams. Amid the cheerful chaos, a tent stood apart, a simple banner proclaiming "The Chamber of Wonders." Intrigued and seeking an escape from the relentless heat, my friends and I decided to explore. The entrance was cloaked in deep red velvet, a stark contrast to the blinding brightness outside. A sense of unease crept over us as we stepped into the dimly lit corridor, the air heavy with a sickly sweet scent that seemed to stick to our skin. The hallway twisted and turned, its walls lined with cracked mirrors that warped our reflections into grotesque caricatures. The corridor finally spilled into a cavernous room, its ceiling obscured by shadows. In the center lay an ornate wooden box, adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to writhe like living things. A lone figure, draped in heavy robes, stood beside it. Their face was obscured by a mask, a featureless expanse that sent a shiver down my spine. A hushed voice beckoned us closer, and against our better judgment, we approached the box. The figure spoke in riddles, words that seemed to worm their way into our minds, planting seeds of doubt and fear. They lifted the lid of the box with a flourish, revealing a swirling darkness that seemed to suck in the very light around it. With a sudden and irresistible compulsion, we were urged to peer into the abyss. What I saw within defies explanation. A nightmarish landscape of twisting forms and agonized faces, a panorama of despair that clawed at the edges of sanity. It was as if our minds were being torn apart, the boundary between reality and nightmare eroding with each passing second. Time became an abstract concept, and I can't say how long we were trapped in that tortuous gaze. When we finally tore our eyes away, the room had changed. The walls pulsed with malevolent energy, the figure beside us now an amorphous mass of shadows. Panic surged through us as we realized we were trapped, imprisoned by forces we couldn't comprehend. In a desperate bid for escape, we stumbled back through the corridor, our footsteps echoing in the suffocating silence. But as we emerged from the tent, we found the fairgrounds deserted, the sun replaced by an eerie twilight that cast long, twisted shadows. The world outside had warped, a surreal reflection of the horrors we had witnessed.